Well, good morning, everybody. We're reading through Acts chapter 20 to 23 this morning. And it's very interesting as we look at this because Paul is one who had no problems with walking away from persecution. He's not one who felt that it had to be something faced. It's like Jesus said that if they don't accept you in one place, shake off the dirt and move on to the next place. So Paul, we have many incidences of Paul doing that, and yet we have a lot of incidences of Paul standing up under it. There are times that he went to jail that he could have avoided jail by just simply telling them that he was a Roman citizen, and he sorry about that, and he didn't. He didn't tell them until they came out of it, until he came out of the jail. So here we have a situation where the Spirit is compelling Paul. He feels compelled. He has to go to Rome, but at the same time, the Spirit is telling him what he's going to not Rome, sorry, go to Jerusalem, and at the same time, he has this longing to see Rome. So he was going to stop off and see Rome on his way to Spain. That was his plan. That was his plan. But the Spirit is compelling him to go to Jerusalem, but at the same time is telling him what he's going to face. So it came in prophetically. It came in through different prophets, and he told them. He was even saying goodbye to people on his way, like, I'm not going to see you again. Like, he knew what he was heading into, but he didn't know why. We know the long game. As we read this, and we've read it many times in our lifetime, as we read this, we know what the whole purpose, how God is going to use this. But Paul, in this moment, he doesn't know. He just knows that he's compelled to go to Jerusalem, and he's going to face something that will be life-shattering there. It's not until Paul is there, he gives the money over that he collected. I guess he's realized that the council there has been taken over by those who believe that you had to become a good Jew to become a good Christian, and so it's the legalizers, if you want to say, have really taken over, the Pharisees, and so here I see it as a setup myself. That's just my personal opinion. He walks into this setup, and he ends up being arrested, thankfully, because the Romans saved his life, and he ends up in custody for doing nothing. He actually, in this case, Paul is innocent. He was following the Jewish laws and the traditions and everything else out of his pocket. He was sponsoring these people who were going through this ceremony, and he's falsely accused, and he's arrested. And this is an arrest he's not going to get out of, and it is in jail. It is while he is under arrest that Jesus actually tells him what is going on. He tells him what the plan is, that this is how he's going to go to Rome. Paul had a desire to go to Rome, but if Paul had gone to Rome in his own way, if he had just got on a ship and gone to Rome himself, the most he would have met with are the Christian leaders, the house churches that were there. But by going by prisoner under appeal to Caesar, and that's what he did as a citizen, he decided he had enough. He was appealing to Caesar. There was nothing to appeal to Caesar for, but he was appealing to Caesar. He was going to go before Caesar. He was going to have access to the emperor. He was going to have access to the world leader, at least that portion of the world leader at that time. Paul would have the opportunity to give testimony to him. Most likely, none of the local Christians had any access to the emperor whatsoever. And here Paul was in chains, going to stand before him and be able to preach the gospel in this way. But it had to come by this route. It had to come, and Paul spent a long time in prison for no reason whatsoever. He was under constant death threat. I mean, 40 guys made a pledge never to eat, never to drink again until he was dead. That didn't go well for them. But Paul was in jail for a very long time, and he faced many trials, and it brought him to the emperor. It brought him to the emperor. And tradition has that it was there that he was executed. That's what the church tradition is. We don't have the history recorded because I guess that's not what was important. Just as Peter's death, it wasn't recorded. We had enough recordings of the apostles being executed to know that this was what going on. But the emphasis wasn't on their sacrifice. It wasn't on their death. It was on what Christ was doing through them to reach the world. And that's what we need to emphasize. So yeah, there could be things that you're going through, and you know you have to go in the direction. You know you have to walk through that, and you may not totally understand why. But you feel that, and sometimes you may question it. Why do I feel compelled to do this when I could avoid this whole thing easily? And people may criticize you, saying, "Listen, you could have avoided this mess. You could have avoided this persecution." But you feel the compelling of the Holy Spirit to walk in this direction. As that happens, you just have to trust the Lord. Have to trust the Lord. I know what that's like. There's some things that I've made the decision to walk through involving people, and there will be criticism thrown at me for it. But I feel compelled by the love of Christ. I feel compelled by the Holy Spirit to walk in this, and maybe I'll get to see why eventually. Let's just trust, okay? It's a relationship of trust. Love you guys. Really do. Have a great day.